Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Boat Dealer Profits podcast. I am your host, Matt Sellhorst, the creator of the Splash System, founder of Boat Dealer Profits and Boat Dealer Profits Marketing Agency. And I'm really excited to have you here. And I'm even more excited to have our guest today. Our guest today is Liz Walz. I'm going to go ahead and give you her bio real quick. But if you're in the industry, you know Liz. It's just it's somebody that has been in the industry for a long time, and you're certainly gonna know Liz, and we're excited and honored to have her here. So Liz joined the Marine Retailer Association of Americas on August 15th, 2012, having spent a better part of the previous 14 years in the marine industry. She was at Boating Industry magazine, where she led the editorial team's efforts and helped to create and produce the Top 100 Dealer Program. I actually wasn't aware you were involved in that, Liz. That's awesome. And the Marine Dealer Conference and Expo, which, if you know, she is heavily involved, and the reason that has exploded in popularity and value. In addition to being a central contributor to the print and online editorial efforts, as an award-winning marine journalist, Liz was also responsible for ensuring boating industry fulfilled its mission through all the media outlets, as well as including magazines, websites, newsletter, blogs, white papers, and much more. Liz was also the only non-dealer member ever to be represented on the MRAA's Young Leader Advisory Council, which is a great group, and her passion for the marine industry, and particularly the marine dealer body, is displayed in everything she does. She served as a judge on the Darlene Briggs Woman of the Year Awards for many years, and is now the vice president of MRAA and the director of education, where she has got her hands in about everything that is adding value to the dealers in the marine world, in education, in training, in certification, and a little bit of everything. And then a big hand in putting together the Marine Dealer Conference and Expo. So Liz, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
No, thank you so much for inviting me, Matt. I'm thrilled to be with you today.
Yeah, so I first have to thank Liz. She was, when I first got started doing the coaching and consulting and now having the marketing agency, she kind of gave me my first big break by asking me to come speak at the Marine Retail University, and was the first chance Liz and I really got to spend some time together and got to have dinner with her, and kind of started a friendship. Although with her busy schedule, it's sometimes difficult to stay in contact. How are things going for you?
Things are great. It's been an exciting last year at the Marine Retailers Association. Lots of new projects to work on. Lots of ways that we've been adding to our service to the industry. Lots going on the family front. We have our two boys, Nathan and Benjamin, 13 and 8, that we've been caring for, a new puppy in the family. Busy year.
Oh, that'll add some excitement for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, that's great. We talked a little bit beforehand about the kids. One of the things that we bonded over that first night we had dinner together, and having kids and having active kids. She was actually giving me some good parenting advice as I was a newer father at that point. But we talked about kind of how boating brings family together, and I would love to hear your story. You talked about a boat that's been in the family for generations, and along with the cottage. Talk about kind of your involvement in boating and how you got into the industry.
Absolutely. Well, on the boating side, we have a long history in my family of having a cottage up on the St. Lawrence River in upstate New York, right on the border with Canada. And I was actually born in the hospital right on the river in Alexandria Bay, so I was a river kid from day one. And so I got to learn a little bit about boating from my grandfather and from my uncles and aunts and my mom and dad as part of that bigger family experience. But lots of family history, and a critical part of my growing up was the chance to be, on the water, in the water, swimming, fishing, boating, water skiing, tubing. And so when I had the chance to meet my husband, he had that same passion, and it's been awesome to be able to share that with my husband and our kids. Definitely a thing that we look forward to every year, and that brings our family together. So
yeah, it's fun to be part of an industry, and your drive and your motivation to help make the dealer community better. And it doesn't even matter what involvement, what area it is, whether it's the dealer conference, which with your involvement has just, from people I talk to, exploded in value and in popularity and attendance. The training, the MRAA training that you guys have released, anything that helps dealers do better, that passion for why you're so committed to the boating industry and the dealer community comes through loud and clear. And it makes sense that, hey, it was a relationship with your extended family that really got you to that point of, hey, boating really is going to impact lives. And you mentioned your son is doing some water ski camps this summer as well.
Yeah, he's on the swim team and loves to water ski. Definitely have passed along that passion for being on the water and in the water. I think there's no doubt that when you love the boating lifestyle yourself, that adds another dimension to working in the industry. I also think, our years of getting to know the dealer community through things like the magazine and the Top 100 Dealers program just gave me such great respect for the work that the dealer community does, for the passion that they have for their communities, for their employees, for their customers, and their sense of family, because we have so many family businesses out there that truly have invested everything in their, personally and professionally, in making this industry a success and in serving their customer. And so I have such great respect for them, and such really passionate about anything that we can do to be able to help them be successful, to support their growth and development because of that respect. So I can definitely say I love what I do.
It shows. It shows in your commitment and dedication. You mentioned something that jumped out at me that, I guess I've known, but I've never heard it articulated. That family, it wraps around everything we do in the industry. They're family that we support, that get out on the water and make memories with their family and their kids and their friends. But then there's also, not only a dealership family, but usually an actual blood relative family within that dealership family, and
right.
And their whole livelihood is tied up for not just a member of the family, but oftentimes generations within the family of that success. So with kind of that said, with your respect and your experience, what are some of the things that you've seen with your involvement in putting the dealer conference together and interacting with all the dealers that really impresses you with how they approach kind of expanding the industry?
Well, as you mentioned, they certainly have a great passion for what they do, and a great incentive to get better at what they do. And I think the thing that makes it so rewarding to develop training and education for the dealer community is that we have an incredible base of dealers that really thirst to get better at what they do, whether their motivation is their family or their customers, and their they truly have a dedication to continuous improvement that makes you want to serve them and to feed them more, to help them be successful. And I think that's where that inspiration comes from, is that we have this incredible community of dealers that are always striving to improve what they do, to serve the customer better, to create a better experience for their employees. And so that just motivates us to want to do more for them.
Right. And that again, the family, it's always, in almost every one of these podcasts I've done, there's been some reference back to family, and that's incredible. So talk to me a little bit about some of your experience at boat shows. I know that that you have a big one up there in New York near you in Syracuse, right? I think I said Rochester when we talked earlier. But talk to me about your experience at the boat show and what you've seen that has really impressed you from the dealer side of things.
Well, we have a wonderful boat show here. It's the Central New York Boat Show right at the Syracuse, New York Fairgrounds. And I think from a square footage standpoint, it's actually one of the largest in the state, if not the largest in the state. And so a wonderful place to go and sort of feel the boating lifestyle, see and touch all the products that help bring that experience to life. As far as what impresses me, I think, we bring our whole family to the boat show every year. And I think the most dramatic difference when you go booth to booth and have those conversations is the level of engagement. What impresses me when I have my consumer hat on is, the relationship that the dealers build with their prospects. You can feel the sincerity when they ask about, what you're passionate about, what your family likes to do on the water, how you want to spend your time, what activities are interesting to you. Those dealers that are able to develop a rapport, that engage with the kids and the whole family, and really have that desire to learn about your unique needs and your motivations, and then try and work to satisfy them. Those are the ones that really stand out. And so, to me, the boat show piece is really all about the relationship.
It's almost a continuation of what happens in the showroom, that, and again, coming back to family, that understanding what the family's looking for and really getting to understand them, so that they can help guide them to the right boat, the right product for them. Now, I would imagine it's hard for you to walk into to any boat show, let alone your local boat show, and not be recognized by everybody and be welcomed into every booth, I would imagine.
Well, we're able to go incognito sometimes. We do travel around a little bit. Another of the shows that we like to visit is the Toronto Boat Show, and we have a number of Canadian members of the Marine Retailers Association as well. But it's fun to put on your consumer hat and be able to see the industry in a different light on the consumer side. Not to mention the fact that my husband and the kids and I just love boating, and so it's fun to be able to go out there and look through the lens of the consumer. And so we definitely do our best to fit in as much of that time as we can.
I remember as a family growing up, we would go to the boat show every year, and it was kind of like almost an annual vacation. Springtime's here, the boat show's coming. It's almost time to get on the water. It was so much fun. That's interesting. You say look through the consumer lens, because sometimes being as close to the industry as we are, and I find it when I do my mystery shopping, which I have a different approach, that you're gathering industry information and enjoying it. But what have you seen through that consumer lens that either surprised you or really caught your attention?
So on a personal level, I think it goes back to the relationships for me. That's the biggest differentiator. I actually you mentioned incognito, right? About we did go to the Toronto Boat Show this last year, and we walked into a booth, and we have been looking for a boat. The boat that we have is my grandfather bought when I was 12, just to give you a little bit of a feel for. So we've been taking good care of it, and it continues to serve us well. But we know that the day's coming soon when we're going to need to have a new boat in the boathouse. And so went to the Toronto show, walked into the booth. It just happened to be one of our members, and ended up talking to the son of the owner, who was in the booth and who I'd never met before. And so I was just another person, right, walking into their booth with my family, and actually had one of the best experiences I've ever had with this young man who was probably in his 20s, who had a wonderful dialogue, who did a great job of speaking specifically to me and my family's needs. And my husband is in medical sales, and he stood out not just to me in my conversation with him, but also to my kids and to my husband, as far as his genuine interest in what we were looking for, and trying to be a problem solver when we would say, oh, we're having trouble finding the combination of this and that we're looking for. And I actually ended up writing a long letter to his father just to tell him how impressed we were with what must have been their sales training, or what the approach that he took in his interaction with us. So it's always so exciting to have those experiences, and to especially when it's a young person. We have
know that the industry is in good hands for the next generation coming up through.
Exactly, and I think that's a big part of our job. Stewardship of the industry is to think about how we can help attract young people to our industry and help develop them. And so here was someone who was certainly teaching me things about the sales process. So that was a great experience.
Well, it's interesting that, and I'm guilty of it, is I'm always looking for the next tactic or the next strategy that's really gonna work for a dealer. But what you said is basically just listen. I mean, listen and have a genuine conversation, have genuine interest, and genuinely care for the people that you're speaking to, and that's going to take you further than any strategy or technique that you're going to use. Just listen and do the best you can to help folks.
Yeah, that goes a long way, even in today's high-tech world.
yeah, exactly. Sitting down, having a face-to-face conversation. Who knew that would be the next big thing? So you also mentioned, Liz, bringing new people into the industry. Is there anything that you're seeing or that you guys are talking about there at the association of, hey, what else can we do? I know techs are a big thing, but just in general, bringing in more young people to work in the industry.
It's interesting that you bring that up, because certainly the workforce challenges that our industry is facing, and certainly our industry is not alone, but it's been a major area of our focus as an association. One of the things that we recently were a part of is a collaborative effort with the National Marine Manufacturers Association to develop a workforce plan that specifically looked at what we can be doing as an industry and what our stakeholders can be doing as individual businesses, whether they're manufacturers or dealers, to help put us into a better position when it comes to our workforce, and really improve upon and help solve the challenges that we're facing. And so our team is in the process of doing some education planning and development, and part of where we're focused is what can we provide to help the industry navigate the challenges on the workforce side. Definitely, marketing careers in our industry needs to be a big part of that. On the education side, we can market careers in our industry, but we have to be prepared to take those folks in and lead them through a career path in our industry, and show them what a wonderful experience working in our industry can be, and that it can help take them where they want to go, and help them meet their goals on a personal level and a professional level. So I think helping the industry educate and train those folks so that they can have a successful career is an important part of that as well.
Yeah, that workforce development thing is, it's a huge one to tackle, but you guys are definitely the right folks to do it. Now, when I spoke at a Marine Retail University in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, Wendy Mackey, you introduced me to Wendy of the Rhode Island Association. They've done a lot of work in that as well. Have you been involved in that at all?
Our association has been involved. Matt has taken the lead on some of our workforce initiatives, Matt Gruen, our president. But I can tell you, a lot of the work that he's done with Wendy and her group, as well as with the National Marine Manufacturers Association, that work was how this workforce, it's the 10+1 report that really identified what we can do to help improve our, tackle some of these workforce shortages. There were several members from Wendy's team, including Wendy herself, who helped make that possible. So we did that in collaboration with them and several other industry groups as well.
Okay, excellent, very good. Yeah, that's exciting to hear, because it's not a time goes by when I talk to a dealer and say, what's one of your major challenges? And it's way up at the top of the list is getting quality talent on technicians and throughout the dealership. So that's exciting. What else do you guys have going on there that's new and exciting? I would assume that you're in the planning stages for the dealer conference. You mentioned in one of the email your certification program has been keeping you busy.
Yes, absolutely. So from an education perspective, one of the new things from this last year was the launch of what we're calling the continuous certification curriculum. Our certification program has long had a recertification process, and in listening to dealer feedback on recertification, there was a desire to, through the certification program, we help dealers create this strong foundation so that they can offer an outstanding employee experience, which will lead to an outstanding customer experience. And so as a dealer goes through certification, the question becomes, well, what's next? These dealers come to the certification program with this commitment to continuous improvement. They want to keep getting better. They want to keep improving and growing their business. And so we took a fresh look at what was traditionally known as recertification and created what we're calling continuous certification. And so as part of that evolution, we've got this e-learning curriculum that we've introduced, where dealers who enter continuous certification, once they've gone through certification, have the ability to have 4 new courses every year, one each quarter, that they can access. They can access themselves and give access to their team to be able to build on that foundation and be able to adapt to what's changing in the industry and help meet that goal for continuous improvement to provide that outstanding customer experience. So our team's been working hard on that first year's curriculum. We're now coming into that third and fourth quarter courses, and so it's exciting to see that come to life this year.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's amazing to me when I find the dealers that invest in that training and invest in that continuous improvement tend to be some of the most successful dealers in their market area. It's surprising to me that others don't catch on to that hey, when you put some investment and some effort into improving your business and investing in your people, that the results soon follow. It's a connection that should be made more often.
Absolutely. I think from your own experience and your own business, Matt, that there's just a different feeling when you walk into a business that has that culture of continuous improvement. They're always looking to get better. They're always looking for ways to improve and to serve their customer at a higher level. And it's exciting to be a part of that environment, even as a consumer walking in the door. And the results definitely speak for themselves. So it's that, like I said before, that's part of our motivation. Is we feel that excitement when we have the chance to get to know those dealers that are really passionate about improving, and it's our pleasure to be able to serve them through education.
Now here's the question: Are you getting in front of the camera a bunch these days and doing a bunch of training? Are you coordinating all the training?
So we certainly jump in front of the camera now and again to help support the course development, but the real stars of the show are our subject matter experts. We work with, just like on the MDCE front, we're looking to work with leading trainers and educators and work with them to help serve our audience. And so sometimes that's folks who have spent their entire career in the marine industry, and sometimes those are folks that are coming in from outside the industry to help us adapt to a changing marketplace. I'll give you a great example of that. Teresa Sire is a customer experience expert, and we had a chance to get to know her in the last couple of years, and she spoke at MDCE last year, and then she helped us create our second quarter course, which was on the customer experience. And so a lot of background on hospitality and in the hospitality industry, and a ton of expertise that she brought to bear as far as how you create a customer experience that stands out and that creates loyalty. A very important topic for our industry for sure. And so we were thrilled to be able to work with Teresa this last year.
Yeah, I love that you guys, and you do it down in Orlando at the dealer conferences. Not only do you bring in the industry folks, but sometimes it's those people from outside the industry that really bring the breakthrough, because you get caught up in this is the way we've always done it, and that won't work in this dealership or in this industry, or just a completely new idea that it's very innovative outside the industry, and maybe a more advanced or more forward-thinking industry that is just getting started out. And you guys bring those to our attention, which is fantastic. Over the years, as we've worked on that, we found that we work really hard toward finding a balance, because I think there's nothing like the expertise of someone who has hands-on experience in the boating business and understands the day-to-day of a boat dealer and their team. There's a value to that that no one else can provide. And yet, as you pointed out, there's also a value that comes from being outside the industry and having other, whether it's consumer experiences or other expertise. We talk a lot about how customer expectations are based oftentimes on their experience in other industries. So we need to have that right balance of understanding what's driving the expectations of today's consumers, how are other industries evolving, and what can we learn from that? Yeah, that's certainly a challenge, but I like the balance that you guys have found. I think it's important to look at both sides of it for sure. So is there anything in the industry, let's say you look at the industry 5 years from now, what are some big things that you would like to see have changed, or the direction that it's going as it relates to the dealer world? What are some things you see coming or that you would like to see? Well, we talked about workforce a little bit earlier, and I think that if there's a number one area of focus for us as an industry, our workforce is what really brings. They're on the front lines. They're the ones that are out there interacting with the customer, bringing boating to life for them, really, really helping them understand what boating's all about, what owning a boat is all about, how to care for their boat. So I feel like it's so critical that we find ways to care for our workforce and find ways to develop our workforce. And so I think that's number one when I think about our future, is ensuring that we develop a strong workforce who can care for our customers and who can care for our businesses. And so we need to, I think as we think as an industry about where we need to be focused, that's a primary area. Certainly another piece that, again, I'm not sure it's specific to our industry, but I think that we're all trying to figure out is how we can use the technology today to serve our dealerships and to serve our customers. And how do we do that in a way that's affordable and that makes sense given the changes that are taking place and how consumers are researching and buying from us. So I think there's a lot to unravel there, and we're working really hard to help dealers
adapt to a very fast-changing marketplace and a fast-changing consumer base. Yeah.
Yep, for sure. I liked how you said in the workforce development piece, you talked about caring for the customer and caring for the industry. I thought that was a great choice of words, because it's not just growing it, but I mean, I'm going to come back to that family theme again. It's not just an industry. It's something more than that. And I was really am seeing that more and more as I work with more and more dealerships, that every single one of them has that family thread to it. And you feel it down when you're with everybody together at an industry event, whether it's a dealer meeting or whether it's a big conference or whatever it is. What do you see as being important in that caring aspect? Is there a cultural piece that you see and why you chose that word?
I think so. I certainly think that that's a part of our culture at MRAA, is that that's kind of what brings us together as a team, is that we truly care about this industry and the people that work in it and the customers that benefit from what we do as an industry. And so that's one of the things that helps me love what I do, and that gives me such an appreciation for the people that I work with, is just that they really bring their heart to what they do. But that didn't come out of nowhere. I think part of that culture was developed because of the relationships that have been built in this industry. I mean, as you mentioned, I think, that was one of the things that you and I talked about when we had dinner that night, was the passion that we have for this industry and why we've devoted our careers to it. And it's because we're inspired by the people that work in it and their commitment to their customers and their employees and to this industry. I very early in my career, I tried out another industry, and it didn't take me long to come back, Matt. I think there's something about the people in this industry that really make it, and as you said, there's a connection to family, whether it's the family environment that we create within the industry. I do feel sometimes like we're one big family as an industry, but it's the people that have to create that atmosphere, and we're inspired by that caring that our members bring to what they do.
Well, that's awesome. I just that word just, I don't know why when you said it, that word just like caught my attention. It's not a word that you would hear when you're talking about growing an industry very often, and I think it's very suitable to our industry, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Well, hey, Liz, this has been a great conversation, and I want to talk a little bit more about this is probably going to be, I think this is going to go out in August. We'll talk about the dealer conference. I've mentioned it several times. Where do people need to go to find out? I know you've announced some of the keynote speakers, and you are at a record attendance again. Are you still on a record pace, I would assume?
We are. We're pretty excited about that, because last year's event was a record-breaking event for us. More than 650 dealership professionals from across the U.S. and Canada, and we are on track to exceed that this year. So very excited about the event, December 9th through 12th in Orlando. You mentioned we've announced a couple of keynote speakers. We're just getting ready to be able to unveil the entire educational lineup. So really excited to be able to share all those details with the industry. By the time this comes out in August, that full information will be available at marinedealerconference.com.
Well, that's awesome. And if you're listening to this and you've been to MDCE, you need to register if you haven't already. But if you have not been down to MDCE, Liz and Matt and the whole team, everybody involved, does an incredible job, not only with choosing the speakers, but also the other things that they put together, the dealer roundtables, the networking events, and just the camaraderie that that goes along with it all, and plenty of fun to be had too. So definitely go check that out. And what was the website again? I'll put it on the show notes.
marinedealerconference.com.
marinedealerconference.com. And so that will be, if you need the link. Otherwise, go get registered and join another record-breaking group down there in Orlando in December. So Liz, anything I didn't ask you that I should have, or anything that you'd like to share before we wrap up?
Matt, I think there's an endless number of topics that we could connect on. I think, on a personal level, the things that get me excited is just about the chance to serve the dealer community. I think so much of what we do as an association comes from listening really well to the dealer community and to the industry and to what their needs are, and that's where our heart is. I think that's, if there's one thing to communicate that's important to me, it's just that the dealer community and the industry know that we're here to serve them, that our passion is to help them improve and grow, and that we're always looking to connect and to better understand how we can do that. And that's our goal with the conference. That's our goal with the certification program. That's the goal with the e-learning that we create, with with member benefits and everything that we do. We're here to serve the industry, and that's what gets us up in the morning. So just thankful for the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it's you guys do an awesome job. And if I assume that if you're listening, you're already a member of MRAA. If not, you need to join as well. And because the value they provide the membership is incredible, and just the support they give to the industry overall with all the work Matt does kind of in the on the other side of things, and everything you do on the education side and the conference. So Liz, I appreciate it. I appreciate what you've done for me personally, kind of giving me my first step into this portion of the industry. And I look forward to seeing you down in Orlando in a couple of months. For everybody listening, I just want to say that all of the links will be in the show notes to Marine Dealer Conference and Expo, to the MRA training.com, as well as the association website where you can become a member. And Liz, I appreciate it. It's been a great conversation. It's been great to catch up with you.
No, it's wonderful to connect, Matt. I think one of the things that I love about working with you and sharing, a place in this industry with you is that we share a lot of passion for caring for the industry. So it's wonderful to reconnect and have a chance to chat. Thanks for having me on the show.
You're welcome.
Wow, I really appreciate Liz joining us here on the podcast. What a great episode. A lot of great stuff that they're doing over there. So be sure, if you're not a member of MRAA, to join up there. And definitely sign up for MDCE. It's a fantastic event in December. Liz and everybody involved. There's a whole bunch of people involved, but she is a big part of it, and has been instrumental in growing and improving the experience there. So that's something very valuable. You can find the links in the show notes: MRAA.com, MarineDealerConference.com, and MRAATraining.com are all the sites. Now, when you've decided that you're just not happy, not satisfied with the profits in your dealership, you know that you should be selling more boats, making more money, and having more fun in your boat business. Here are just a few ways that we can help. The first is you can take advantage of a special opportunity for podcast listeners to get a free 30-minute one-on-one strategy session to talk about your boat business. Ask me any questions you'd like about sales and marketing, and I'll give you my best coaching and insights. You can do that at boatdealerprofits.com/success. Second, You can check out our Boat Dealer Profits scorecard to see how you and your dealership are doing in each of the 7 key areas of Splash Dealer success. You can do that at boatdealerprofits.com/scorecard. Real simple. You just evaluate yourself and kind of do some self-reflection, which is very good. Boat Dealer Profits TV, our blog, and other podcast episodes at boatdealerprofits.com. You can go into the resource center there and check out all of that. And we are working on some new webinars, so you can check out any of our webinars at boatdealerprofits.com/webinars. And not only will you be able to attend any of the previous webinars, the replays, so you can get instant access to those, but also will be a listing of future webinars that we have coming up. And we do have one scheduled for late in August. So I'm really excited about that one. That's going to be great. Check all those out. I appreciate you listening. Would love to, if you enjoy the podcast, give us a review on iTunes. Let people know that you're listening to it. Share it with folks in your dealer networks, others in the industry that you think would enjoy it as well. Thank you very much, and we will talk to you on the next episode.